This is an error identification question, and you have to remember with the error IDs that you are looking for mainly pronouns and verbs. The two top things, and we'll talk about this at length over these screencasts, is that the test writers use pronoun vagaries and everything revolving around verbs as usually their first test, right? Their first way to try to trick you or test to see if you understand basic grammar or sentence structure. And this sentence completion, or this error identification question is no different. It says, after you have written a definition in your vocabulary notebook, add a few ways to use the word or a sentence to illustrate its meaning. Right? After you've written a definition in your vocabulary notebook, add a few ways to use the word or a sentence to illustrate its meaning. Now, the way this sentence sounds is fine. It doesn't sound wrong at all. And that's the problem with students who decide to go into this saying, well, I'm just going to listen for the thing that sounds bad because this sounds fine. And if I said it to you out loud without it in front of you, you'd never see any problem because orally, right, by its sound, it sounds perfectly okay. Well, so when you sit down and you go through your mental checklist, you'll see and look for pronouns and verbs and subject verbs and pronoun antecedent and agreement issues throughout all of these. This one is no different. What they've done is simply made a sentence that sounds fine but is not correct. And the problem is a pronoun problem. After you have written a definition in your vocabulary notebook, add a few ways to use the word or a sentence to illustrate its meaning. Well, its meaning is the meaning of the word. The problem is they have IT apostrophe S. And a very easy way to remember this is that IT apostrophe S only is a contraction. And it means it is. And it doesn't mean anything else. And it can't be used as a possessive pronoun. Right? You've got your nominative pronouns and your objective pronouns and your possessive pronouns. And what they've done here is they've made a contraction of it is, which is its, which sounds just like the ITS pronoun, which is a possessive pronoun. But it doesn't fit. This sentence, if it were written down, says add a few ways to use the word or a sentence to illustrate it is meaning, which is incorrect. Therefore, the answer is D. And again, the sound of the sentence is fine. So what we are trying to do is get it so that you can see the problem, that you can actually identify the mistake, not go by how it sounds, because this sentence sounds fine, but there is an error by the letter D, and the answer therefore is D.